Hello and welcome to our online public engagement event for the Deansgrange Flood Relief Scheme. This presentation will provide you with an overview of the project and insight into the works completed to date, the key constraints currently identified, and what you can do to help take the scheme forward. The Deansgrange stream has a history of flooding, and the aim of the scheme is to reduce flood risk within the catchment itself. As can be seen from the image to the left, the Deansgrange stream has a long, narrow catchment with the stream extending from roughly the Deansgrange supervalue in the northwest through Clonkeen Park, Kilboggat Park and Glenavon Park before meeting the sea adjacent to the Seafield and Bayview estates. More than 1.3 kilometres of the stream is culverted or underground, primarily in Kilboggat Park, but also between the Seafield and Bayview estates. The Deansgrange Flood Relief Scheme commenced in late 2019 with works on site due to commence in 2022 and works completion is scheduled for 2023. The project is being delivered by Dún Laoghaire County Council and is funded by the OPW. In December 2019, Dún Laoghaire County Council appointed the design consultant team of JBA Consulting and JB Barry and Partners to assess, develop, design and manage the delivery of the flood scheme for the Deansgrange catchment. To provide some background to the project, in 2011 the OPW commissioned the Eastern Catchment Flood Risk Assessment and Management Programme, or CFRAM for short. The CFRAM programme examined the flood risk and possible measures to address the risk in communities throughout the country, of which the Deansgrange catchment was included, outlined red in the image here. The image shows the flood risk in the Deansgrange catchment, with the flooding predominantly focused around the Seafield and Bayview estates to the east. Specific recommendations that came out of the CFRAM report are about to be implemented by Dún Laoghaire County Council, such as the provision of a screen and storage at Kilboggat Park. The current commission by Dún Laoghaire County Council is building on the work done as part of the CFRAM study, updating and refining the flood model and ensuring all solutions meet the requirement of the community and are catchment based. There are 5 stages to the scheme and we are currently in stage 1, which takes us from project commencement to options assessment, scheme development and design. There will be further public consultation in spring 2021 when a preferred scheme is identified and we'll seek further comment on our proposals. As can be seen in the simplified programme here, we are currently commencing the options development for the project with a view to submitting a planning application for the scheme in mid-2021, which will then lead to construction commencement in early 2022 on site. We will be keeping you informed as the project progresses of any changes to the delivery dates through the project newsletters and public consultation forums. To help identify any potential limitations to the scheme, a project constraint study was undertaken at the start of the commission. The study helps identify constraints that must be considered in the development of the scheme to ensure no negative impacts result from the works. Examples of some constraints identified during the study include invasive species within the area, management of debris within the catchment, underground utilities near potential work locations, and the rail line above the outfall culvert. An updated and improved flood model was developed for the scheme, which refined the work previously completed as part of the CFRAM study. The model has been updated thanks to recent topographical survey work within the catchment, which you may have seen undertaken in recent months, and the model has been cross-checked against recent storm events. The hydraulic model is a catchment-wide model, now taking into account the sewered surface water systems and their impact on the flood flows in the stream. The flood map on this slide shows the baseline flood extents for the 10%, 1% and 0.1% annual exceedance probability, or AEP. This is equivalent to a 1 in 10 year, a 1 in 100 year and a 1 in 1,000 year flood respectively. The main locations for flooding are Area A in and near Kilboggat Park, Area B from Whitefield Road to Glenavon Park, and Area C in the Seafield and Bayview Estates. As can be seen on the flood map, the vast majority of properties affected within the catchment are in the Seafield and Bayview Estates to the east. Our analysis of the flooding, as shown on the previous slide, has identified a few key problem areas in the network. There is potential for culvert blockages, which could in turn lead to flooding in the local area, such as at the Seafield culvert screen, as shown here in the photo on the left. During flood events such as what occurred in 2011, an overflow from the stream flows parallel to the railway line to the rear of the Bayview estate. The palisade fences in the vicinity, shown here in the photo on the top right, are liable to block, which in turn will exacerbate flooding in the area. The final outfall of the stream under the rail culvert also inhibits flows during flood events and can in turn back up the stream, increasing the flood risk. So what are our flood risk management options? In the Deansgrange catchment, it is likely that several measures will be undertaken to deliver the flood scheme. These could include new flood embankments or walls to protect properties, improving culvert screens to reduce the risk of blockages and backup of the flow, flood storages to retain the flow, and increasing culvert sizes along the network to provide greater capacity. Our preferred scheme will need to balance the economic, social, cultural heritage, and environmental aspects of each of the options, and your input in the process will be invaluable. The attached slide gives an idea of similar schemes where flood walls were installed, which are designed to tie in with the existing landscape and be as unobtrusive as possible. Flood embankments can also be used to protect properties and retain flows. One of the main benefits of flood embankments over walls is that they can be better integrated into the surrounding landscape, as can be seen in these photos. However, more space is required for embankment, and consequently they are not always feasible. Ultimately, the scheme will need to work within its landscape and in conjunction with the stakeholders to choose an appropriate solution for the location. We want to ensure that your views are taken into account in the design and development of the scheme. Our project website will be the main source of news and information on the project. We would also appreciate if you could take a bit of time to complete our brief questionnaire on the project, which is included on our website and available for download and email back to us, or alternatively can be completed online if it is more convenient. We hope to see you again in the near future as the scheme develops and are available at any stage to receive any input you may have on the scheme through our website, email address, and contact number. Thanks again from the Deansgrange Flood Relief Scheme Delivery Team.